David falls in love easily. Many women will know how to soften his heart. One of them is Abigail, in whom beauty, wisdom, and prophetic gifts. His charm was such that he excited the passion of men with his single look. She is a married woman. Her husband, not by chance, is called Nabal, which means fool, one to whom nothing can be said. Nabal opposes David. It will have a sad ending. Nabal had his farm in Carmel. He was a very rich man. He owned 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. David will found in the desert. There the news reached him that Nabal was shearing his flock. Shearing is always a party and joy. During him, a wealthy landlord is normally generous, inviting friends and neighbors to participate in the abundance of his possessions. David, who has driven away the marauders, guarding Nabal's cattle, he sends 10 boys, hoping that Nabal receive them with hospitality and give them something for his men. These they presented Nabal, and, in the name of David, greeted him, "Peace for you, for your house and for all yours. I have known that you are shearing. Ask your pastors, and they will tell you how we have never bothered, and they have not lacked for anything since we have been with them in Carmel. May these boys find favor in your eyes, since we have come on a holiday. Give them what you have on hand for your servants and your son David." The greeting, with the triple wish for peace, expressed the good intentions of David, and was an omen of prosperity. But hearing this, Nabal showed his name, and, with all his foolishness, he answered them. "Who is David? Today there are many servants who run away from their sirs. Am I going to take my bread, my wine, and my cattle, which I have sacrificed for my shearers, to give them to some men I don't know where they're from?" With this answer, the boys turned around and went back for his way to communicate it to David, and one of Nabal's servants ran also to notify Abigail. "Look, David has sent messengers from the desert to greet our master, and he has despised them. However, those men have been very good to us, and we have not lacked while we have been with them when we were in the field. They were our defense night and day. Look, you must do, for the ruin of our master and all his house is decreed, and that he is so stupid that nothing can be said to him." Abigail, with the good sense that her husband lacked, hurriedly took 200 loaves of bread and 2 wineskins, 5 rams, 5 arobas of wheat roasted, 100 bunches of raisins, and 200 cakes of dried figs, loaded everything on donkeys, and sent it to David. Behind the sumptuous present, she was riding another donkey. In the thicket from the mountain, he ran into David and his men, who were going down in the opposite direction. David was venting to his soldiers, "In vain. We have kept what happened to this man in the desert, who now return evil for good. By dawn not a single male of Nabal. But before him was already Abigail, who, as soon as she saw David, got off the donkey, prostrated himself on the ground before him, and said, 'Let your servant speak in your ears, and listen to me. The Lord certainly will make a permanent house for my Lord fights the battles of the mister. No evil will come upon you in all your life. Even if you are now persecuted, my Lord's life is safe in the bag of life with the Lord, your God. When the Lord does to my Lord what he has promised and has given you established as King of Israel, that there be no disturbance or remorse in the heart of my Lord for having shed innocent blood and taking the justice by his hand. When the Lord has fulfilled his promises, remember of your servant Abigail was not free from the feminine weakness of coquetry." The words, "remember your servant," should never have been spoken, attracting attention to her, since she was a married woman. And the truth is that David, listening to Abigail, something has touched her heart, erasing her desire to revenge. As if God himself had spoken to him through Abigail's mouth, exultation broke out. "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you today to my meeting. Blessed be your prudence, and blessed are you who have prevented me from spill blood and take justice into my own hands." David accepted from Abigail what she brought him and said, "Go home in peace. Look, I have heard your voice and I have accessed your petition." In Abigail's words, David has looked back on his entire life as a history led by the hand of God. And if God has led you thus far, he will bring it to its fullness. David can leave his justice in the hands of God. Abigail went home. There was Nabal celebrating a king's banquet. He was lighthearted and completely drunk. She didn't say anything until the next morning. But at dawn, when the night had passed drunk, Abigail told him everything that had happened. Then her heart dyed the chest, and Nabal was left like a stone. The obsession of riches dries up the soul, brutalizes man. The news of Nabal's death reached David, who exclaimed, "Blessed be the Lord who has defended my cause against the insult of Nabal and has preserved me from doing evil. The Lord has brought down the wickedness of Nabal above his head." Abigail has been released. David, who has not been able to forget her since she saw, he sends some messengers to propose that she be his wife. Abigail doesn't even think about it. She, too, has been captivated by the hero David. He got on his donkey, and followed by 5 maids, she went after David's envoys and became his wife. When David is on his throne, Abigail will whisper in the king's ears the psalm you have learned from him. Yahweh, in your strength the king rejoices. Oh, how your salvation fills him with joy. You have granted him his heart's desire. You have not denied him what his lips asked for. You went ahead to bless him with success. You have put a golden crown on his head. Your glory gives it splendor and majesty. You grant him unceasing blessings, and you fill him with joy in your presence. May your hand reach all your enemies and annihilate all your adversaries. Even if they plot your ruin and plot intrigues, they will be able to do nothing, for your bow will put them to flight. Arise, Yahweh. With your strength and to the sound of the harp, we will chant for you.